Hey folks, Chris Adams here again with another video shot down in the War Eagle mine. Just like the last one I shot down here, I've spared y'all the mile walk into the main haulage from the East 8, and I'm starting the video here at the 4-way junction. That's our way back out. That's that way. There's an ore chute over there, goes up to upper levels. That's back through a dangerous area that I really don't want people going into. And this way, if you've seen videos in the past, goes back to the incline shaft down. Now, one thing I've noticed, this mine has probably 15 miles of tunnels and different levels here, but it seems like every YouTube explorer comes in here goes to like the same 4 or 5 places. So I'll be taking you to places that most people haven't gone, but probably not today, because today I want to go down the incline shaft and take a walk down the 2nd level. So if you'll come with me, we will go down and take a look at that. And as you can see, got a lot of graffiti written by people who just, down shaft. No kidding, really? Some old rail chunked in here behind this cribbing to hold the rock back. Nice 8x8 timbering here, and doing its best to hold that loose rock up. In fact, you usually don't see this kind of overhead in the mine. They would have put this in just in areas where there's bad earth, where you get falls from above. So, and you can see all the small rock above which is falling down on it. Good investment of their time putting that in there. Timbering being otherwise expensive and gets in the way of production. So they tried not to timber unless they had to. And when they had to, there's usually a pretty good reason for it. And we can see up around the edge more fallen rock back there. And just some beautiful work of the timbering here. Those nice headers up there. And nice angle to it to give it the maximum weight bearing. Heading back this way, there would have been track here, but this track's been taken out, probably by scrappers. You never know. It's picks up right here though. We got the ties and track and overhead water or air pipe that goes from here around through this area back here and down the incline shaft. Now, if you haven't seen this incline shaft before, it's a beautiful piece of work. You've got 2 separate compartments here, one on the left, one on the right, that go down at least as far as the 3rd level, and then one on the left goes down 2 more levels. This area has been prominent in a lot of videos. It's easy for people to get here. In fact, when I first bought the mine, I did an interview with Joanne Lightheart from Outdoor Adventures, and we sat in chairs right over here. Area back here, there would have been machinery to pull the cars up that incline. It's gone now. Little graffiti. Burned wood again. Stop starting fires underground, people. Oxygen's finite, carbon monoxide is forever. Nice little swing bar here that as the cars come up, this would move out of the way for the car, and then it would swing back naturally into position. So if a car got loose from the hoist over here and came back, it would bang up against this and not go hurtling down the shaft like an out-of-control rocket. Now, unfortunately, there is the remains of a car down at the 3rd level that some jackass, shoved down here on the right side. And it's a broken up mess down there. It destroyed the station at 300. It took a lot of the timbering out on the way down. In fact, if this shaft hadn't been inherently, solid with the rock, it probably would have collapsed the shaft. Again, no reason for doing that other than just pure vandalism. Some people's kids, I got to tell you. Again, it's our plan to try to recover that car, bring it up here, put it on display. And there's another car past it on the 3rd level we want to bring up too. But thanks to the vandals, we have to repair the 3rd level station first, which is going to take some effort. But again, I've got volunteers who want to come in and help, and this will be one of the projects we can work on. Again, big area back in here. Would have been a hoist here. To me, I think this just kind of cries out for a lounge chair, couch here, TV set. This would be a cool place to hang out. The ultimate, Can I say man cave anymore? Because I know we had some, you know, rockin' female underground explorers too, so I don't know, I'll have to think about that one. Maybe you can reply in the comments. Is it a man cave? Is it a people cave? Is it, you know, what the hell? But let's go down. I want to take the 200 level before Phil gets back from where he's screwing around. And why does my light keep damping out like that? There we go. Going down. Now, there was actually a movie that was filmed in here back about 10 years ago, straight to video. The movie was called either The Abandoned Mine or The Mine. You can find it on Amazon Prime and IMDb under either name. And this shaft plays a prominent role in the movie. They filmed a lot of it here and a lot of it at another mine up in Utah. So if you got an hour and 36 minutes you're not terribly keen on making good use of, yeah, get yourself that movie and take a look at it. When you get done, write me and explain the ending, because I don't get it. Otherwise, you get some good mine footage. Go down the steps here. Got the little pipe on the side, which is missing in that one section. And it's actually funny, one of the actors in the movie coming down this very shaft hit that spot with a missing pipe and almost did a header down the steps. And I saw that and chuckled, you know, really do got to replace that section of rail. But it's on the list of things to do. It's a nice incline walk down the boardway with the little footsteps here. Deceptively easy going down. Chrome-plated bitch coming back up, especially if you've gone down, you know, 4 or 5 levels. You can see it's timbered in the mid shaft, where they've actually notched, you know, the timbers into the cross beams up there. You don't always see that. It's fascinating work to look at. And those slots up there are actually beveled, so the wood can only go so far in, it can't go out the other side. You'll see it on a few of these up here, if I can get this to... Each one's notched into that cross beam. Very strong, very solid. And you get on here and we just, no cross beam, but we have shims. Just kind of pounded in there until it's tight, and then that one's kind of shifting out of position. So I want to get down here and fix that one and several other ones. And this one's not even shimmed anymore, but we'll take care of that too. The shims are probably laying in the stuff down here somewhere. We'll get to it. Now, right down here is the second level station. If I survive this section of rail, there would have been a timber here once, and you can see where the bottom beam has got a beautifully, that shows the bevel there where the timber would have been notched in at the bottom. So it could come in from the top part, drive in, and it's going to go into that V shape. It's not going to slide out the other side. It can't fall down, but it obviously has fallen down. I think this is it right here. Yep, it's got the same beveling on the end here. You can see it. I told everybody I wouldn't hold the light sideways, but what I want to do then is get that back into position eventually. Shim it back up into the rock up above. For no other reason than just to secure this stupid pipe that's driving me crazy. But again, I want to preserve this place and keep it where it is as long as we can. So the more timbering we can preserve, the better. Coming down. Still see a lot of litter in here, bottles and cans and the bric-a-brac. And I try to remove it as every time I get, but I always wind up with more litter than I do pocket space or backpack space. And it seems like every time I come through here and clean an area up, I'll come back a couple of months and there's more litter in the same spot that wasn't there before. So it's one thing for people to be in here without permission. It's another thing for people to be in here making a mess without, at least, you know, if I don't know you're in here, I didn't know you were in here, but when you throw garbage down, that's kind of an insult and a slap in the face. So what I got here is the track. We got a tunnel back here, a drift back here. And if we want the cars going up and down the shaft to continue up and down the shaft, we would raise this little bridge up and the cars can continue on up and down the shaft. If we want the car off on this level, we drop it like this one here, and the car comes down the track and goes back into the drift there on that track. So I told Phil that I would leave a Siloom stick up here on this level to show him where I had gone. Now I try to open a Siloom with one hand because I'm holding the phone with the other. Bear with me a second, folks. Okay, that's a fail. Come down. Where's a nail? There's a nail. There we go. Do me a solid nail. I'm putting the Siloom paper in my pocket so it's not all over the floor like everything else. We shake our stick up. We turn our stick on. And we hang it on a nail so Phil knows where we went. It's all about safety, folks. Realistically, we should probably be together. And I know people are going to say, why aren't you with your buddy? Well, truth be told, he and I both know this mine very well. And we know each other pretty well too, so we're not doing anything radical or crazy. We're not climbing ladders or going up into stopes. We're just walking down existing drifts that we all know pretty well, and he knows where I'm at, I know where he's at, and we're gonna be meeting up in about 15 minutes. So we're trying to be safe here. There's our Siloom marking the way we came. Phil will come down the tunnel and join us. The track comes across here. Nice workbench down here with some shims ready to be used on future timbering projects. Now, one of the things that's neat up here, my friend Andrew Keeper showed us this the last time we were down here, is if you look up into this timber, you'll see all kinds of little rocks embedded in the wood. Some of them are pretty good size, but this whole beam is peppered with rock chips. What that's from is back in the day when they were blasting further down here, the explosion was bringing rock chips back here and driving them hard enough that they would embed themselves into this timber. So you can imagine how hard those rocks had to be flying to dig themselves that far into the wood. So when there's blasting going on, you don't want to be close to it. Here's one of the holes from the blasting that didn't completely fire. They would have drilled that one in as part of the pattern and packed it with the dynamite and blasted and taken a whole section down, then come in, mucked it out, drilled another section and lather, rinse, repeat till they moved on back in 6 to 8 feet at a time. Coming down the drift here, we see some air and water pipes for the machinery. Back then, everything underground was powered by air, compressed air tools other than the engines themselves, which would have been electric or in some cases diesel. But all the drills, the muckers, and other equipment like that were powered by compressed air. And the drills were also fed with water through the water lines to keep the dust down and also to cool the bits. So the bits lasted longer and the miners lasted longer. Back in the early days before they did that, the drills would kick up so much dust and the miners would breathe that in every day for so long. Eventually, their lungs would become full of the silica sand, little sharp silica crystals, and they die from that. They call it silicosis, miner's lung. And finally, they figured out if we run water through the drills, not only does it preserve the drill longer, but it keeps that from happening. So that's the state of the industry, or at least it was back then. I think they still do that, but you don't see a whole lot of miners running drills up against the face anymore either. It's largely mechanized. So we're going to take a little wander down this way. I have not been through here yet, so I've been curious about seeing this. We've got a bit of a collapse over here on the side with some awful good-sized boulders that have come down. Just going to kind of gingerly make our way across that. see. Y'all know if I trip into a face plant, I got to start this whole video over again, right? Because that's not going to show. Got another nice wooden box here, one of the old, probably a dynamite box. Empty now, but nice handmade box, probably put together down here. Big stove working area up here. There's been a lot of mineral in here. They took this whole section out, except for what's collapsed back there, of course. Kind of took itself out. Some timbers that didn't get out of the way in time when it came down. Can't just note the edge of those timbers. This snapped right off. Wouldn't do to be into this. And again, our timbers run the gamut here from, milled 8x8 or 6x6 square timbers to basically just logs like this one. You'll even see some here that still have the bark on them, like this one here. So they used what they had available, and depending on the time period, you'll see different practices utilized. A lot of nice sparkly quartz up there, embedded in that. Still trying to learn the geology down here. Not really sure what kind of rock I'm looking at yet. Hard to believe I was a geology undergrad for a year back when half these rocks were new. Wayne State University. Go whatever our sports team was. Here again, somebody, for whatever reason, decided this was a good place to stop, sit down and have a fire. So, again, great way to kill yourself or somebody else. Let's just suck all the oxygen out and make a big pile of carbon monoxide that floats around up in here. More of the timbers coming up here. An older log, still got the bark on, shimmed into place up here above. These go back up in there a way. It's a pretty good working area. So obviously this area was pretty mineral rich at one time. They went to a lot of trouble to take an awful lot of rock out of here. Swinging back around. See some of those shims at the bottom part acting as a footer for that timber. I'm going to carry on here. There were rails here at one time. You can see the remains of the old track ties here. And we got more shims, as many shims as it takes to make that thing solid. Your nice 8x8 hardwood timber. And some stoping down below us too, because all the mineral wasn't up there. You can still see some streaks of it up in there. Again, I wish I was savvy enough to tell you with any real authority, what these colors are, but I'm not there yet. I'll get there though, especially now that I'm running tours in here. So if you want to come here and take a look at the place, give me a call on the Facebook, Chris Adams at Tacopa Mines, or shoot me an email, tacopamines@gmail.com. And if I'm out here, I generally welcome people to come on out, and I'll take you in for a tour for a small nominal fee. Funds used, of course, to finish rehabbing this place. Got a lot of work to do back in here. But God willing, the creek don't rise. We're going to get a bunch of it done. Make more of this mine available and accessible to explorers and school groups and anybody else who wants to come back here and appreciate the history. Another timbered section up here. Shimmed into place. You won't see a single nail driven into the rock. All of this wood is held in place by shims and friction and pressure. The only nails you'll see is like, putting those footer boards up or coat hangers. So, a couple different directions here. Which way to go, which way to go. This one seems to face out right here. Let me take a quick look. Maybe not. Comes around here a little more. Ouch. I meant to do that. And we come to an end. Piece of timber, and I decided that was enough going this way. So let's go back and take a look the other way. Random block of wood sitting on the floor. Nice view of our timbering from over here. Another log up there. And we come around this way. Again, somebody decided they needed to write the word out on the wall. I will be removing all of that as soon as I can get around to it. Right now I'm taking all the chalk marks people made, and I get down here with a wire wheel. Most of the paint on the rock is going to be going to. Now this looks interesting over here. Got a ladder goes up there into the stope area. Feel air coming down. I got a pretty good idea where that goes. But I want to check that out. But Phil and I have the agreement. We're not climbing up into stopes or off the beaten path without each other here. So that's going to have to wait. I got a real good idea about that though. And eventually I want to replace the ladder that I think I can run from here all the way up to the main haulage. So, carrying on down our timbering here. Let's back off. Again, a lot of immense wood here. Wood like you just can't buy today. I mean, these, when they say 2x4, 4x4, 8x8, you know, that was legit dimensions. These were the real things. This is all good seasoned wood, most of it well over 100 years old. So you don't buy wood like this today. And a big problem I'm starting to have around here is people coming in and stripping the wood out to use in their building projects. And again, that's right up there, I think, a fire in a mine is when you're coming in here, pulling timbers down as you're standing beneath them. That doesn't seem like a job with a lot of future to it, but people are doing it. Here we have a piece of a drill steel just sitting here minding its own business. This would have been the end that goes in the drill. This hole in the end is where the water would have run through the drill. And the drill would have cycled back and forth, making 1/8 or 1/4 inch turns with every revolution and hammering its tungsten carbide bit into the rock a little bit more each way. Eventually it breaks or dulls out to the point where they can't resharpen it or reuse it. And it winds up sitting on the rock like this. And that's a nice little artifact, piece of the mine's working history. And surprisingly, it hasn't been stolen and spirited off to Canada yet. So we're happy for that. Coming further down the drift, we run into some of our ubiquitous piping here to bring water and or air back to the working face. Nice big section back here, a lot of room here. So got a face out there and it carries on this way. Old tin of some sort there. Can't make out any markings on it anymore. Part of the mine's history. It stays right here. Not a lot of artifacts left in this mine. I aim to preserve what's still here so that people can see it. And eventually I'll be acquiring more period equipment from this mine or similar mines and putting it in here for display as well. It's going to be a process. Bit of our track coming back here. Nice shiny quartz and some of this rock here. And again, we've got our face set. And you can see a quartz vein running right up there, that on an angle there, that white stuff. Would have been a good bit of mineral along here they were chasing. And even up into that pocket they went to work it. So probably one of the more productive veins, at least for a while, back in here. But like all things, it ends. Here's where this one ends. And since I don't want to bore you with a walk back out, here's where this video ends. We'll pick it up another time with another video, starting in another location in the mine, and try to show you a bit more of what's going on around here. This is the fabulous War Eagle Mine in Inyo County, owned by me, Chris Adams. And hope to bring y'all down here and show you around if you get a chance. So drop me a line, give me a call, and we'll see what we can do in that. Till then, have a good day.